Raise your horns high and let your spirit flow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show. Feel the rush, let the loudness grow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show.
When famous rock and metal musicians meet their demise, only one man searches for them beyond the grave. Evil Keneally will find them and make contact as the Classic Metal Wrap-Up Show proudly presents The Ghosts Beyond the Grave.
Ooh. I guess. I think
Hello.
evil actually, what did he do? Like a fucking seance or something and did the Ouija board thing and brought the ghost of Mike Howe back from
It's the ghost of Mike Howe. I'm calling you from the great beyond.
Well, how I've always wondered. Well, first of all, huge fan. I mean, I think we had a chit chat last week about the Blessing in Disguise versus The Dark, and I don't think you could go wrong with either of those two records, really. I mean, I tend to lean more towards The Dark, but only because I think that was my introduction to the band. But how is the afterlife there, Mike?
Well, it's kind of cold and damp, but I'm back here. Oh, I'm singing away out here in the ether of afterlife, and I will just say, Ruben, I always enjoyed singing both the Dark and Blessing, all of the Metal Church material, quite frankly. So I just wanted to check in. Evil seanced me through the Ouija board, and I thought I would check in from the other side.
The afterlife sounds painful.
It's just cold and damp, and I'm waiting for other people to show up. It seems like forever.
Out of curiosity, because one of the things that oftentimes people say when musicians depart, like with Ozzy, oh, he's in heaven jamming with Dimebag, Vinny, and Lemmy. Is that really the case? I mean, have you run into any famous people that have recently arrived since you got there?
I don't see any famous people around, to be quite honest, but
Right.
I would definitely say that it's kind of like the movie Ghost. I'm here and I can see you guys and what you're doing,
Hmm.
and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, but quite frankly, no one can hear me.
So was that what you were doing when Kurt got Mark Lopes on board? You're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, the message I wanted to send from the other side was definitely that Metal Church must continue. Mr.
Mm,
Wayne and I are not there to carry that
right.
torch, so he must find the proper singer. I don't know if Mr. Lopes had the vocal qualities
Right.
that would be fit to handle the duties of Metal Church, but
Right.
I'm not here to disparage anyone from the other side either. I'm just here to say that the torch must be carried and Kurt must find a way. There must be someone out there.
Hmm.
There has to be someone who can step up and just like that at any moment and just give
Yeah.
it what it needs for Metal Church, for the spirit of Mike Howe and David Wayne.
We got into the discussion since we're chatting and you say you can see and hear us. You probably snuck in for a little bit of that conversation where we were talking about the Ronnie Monroe era. Um, what would you say if Ronnie Monroe was asked to come back to carry that torch? I mean, was he the right guy, you think?
I'm not going to disparage any former members. I'm just going to say that I think the face of Metal Church going forward has yet to be found. And from the afterlife, I just have this feeling that Kurt can do it. He within himself, he has to search and find the right person. There's a young man out there with the proper screams that can step up and just because you have to. The thing about Metal Church that people don't realize, it was so hard on Mr. Wayne and myself, is it requires pure screaming vocals at times, but melodic choruses, big melodic choruses. So you have to be able. It's a yin and yang in Metal Church. You have to
Right.
be able to wear both hats. And so, but there's someone out there, and I really just want to express from the other side, and I'm thankful that Evil reached out to me because it's been a long time since I've heard from anyone from the other side. So if this little wooden board thing and this little contraption he's got over here with this crystal ball works, then here I am. So Metal Church must continue, Mike Howe. Please, Mike, please don't let it die.
Mm,
Don't let my name go down in vain. Don't let them forget me and Mr. Wayne. The music must live. Find that young singer. Find that young whippersnapper who can step up
right.
and hit. I know there's got to be some young man in Seattle right now who's depressed and angry, and he's ready to step on stage, just like I was.
Mm. Is that in the afterlife, is that something that you do? I know you were singing and screaming, saying that because it's so cold and damp and stuff like that. But is that even something that crosses your mind, is getting back into maybe a forming a band in the afterlife?
Well, I am very hopeful that all these yoga sessions I've been doing on the other side, waiting for Kurt to show up. I'm hoping that when he does show up, it's guitar in hand with heavy riffs, those dynamic riffs that only Kurt can come up with. So I do hope that one day that a afterlife metal church will reunite and make an album. But in the meantime, I don't want all the mortals on that side of the wall of spirit to not hear my music, and it's very important to me. So I know a lot of people are left wondering why. Why did Mike Howe leave this earth? But that's not to be answered now. I can
Mm.
just say that the pandemic and loneliness and separating us from our loved ones was not healthy for any of us. So, but let my spirit fly free and let a young man step on stage and sing for Metal Church. There has to be someone willing to carry that torch.
Mm. And I know Evil pretty well, but did you ever meet his brother Neely? Uh, Wendell, I should say. Oh.
It's not really. I've been interviewed by a lot of people over the
Mm-hmm.
years with Metal Church, so it'd be
Sure.
hard to say if we cross paths. But maybe someone he did mention something about a classic metal show
Right.
during the seance sessions over the last few days, and I don't. It's not drawing up any memory for me, but. Evil seems like a very nice man with a radio show, and he was able to reach me somehow. I'm over here screaming at the top of my lungs, and no one's hearing me. So finally, someone answered the call, and that was Evil. And if that's how it works, well, here I am. I just wanted to get my message out that I love my children and my family I left behind, and I want Metal Church to continue.
Is there anything you
Um,
wanted to relay to the fans?
well, I just want you guys to know that to love one another, to care for one another, because that's an important factor in all of this dynamic in the world today. And as I sit above you, watching down, doing my yoga and singing my songs and practicing my vocal reps to be ready for this afterlife gig that will eventually come, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, everyone is eventually going to have to come in. Now, I haven't been invited to the Aussie sessions. I didn't get to jam with Jimi Hendrix. I haven't seen that yet, but
Mm-hmm.
there was a couple metal guitar players that I did talk to recently here on the other side, and they're waiting as well for their band members. It seems to be some kind of a wait here until your band members show up, and then you can play with your band members in the infinite rehearsal room. So that's all I have. That's all I have on the other side is to watch. But for the fans, keep rocking.
Mm.
Encourage Kurt to find that next singer. If you see a singer out there who can do the job, then you most certainly need to send that video in to Kurt and let Metal Church.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Metal Church must live.
Okay. Holy shit. That was some weird stuff. So, okay. So, in a few more things, and then I'll let you go. Is it really that peaceful in the afterlife? I mean, you're saying it's damp, it's cold. That doesn't sound very peaceful to me.
I'm not even sure if this is the afterlife. Maybe I'm just in the dirt. I don't know. But
Mm.
what I do know is where I'm at spiritually with my body is just trapped in some kind of ghost like zone where no one can hear me and no one can see me, and I
Okay.
can see everything and hear everything. Though I could watch down at any one of you at any time and see what you're doing. Unfortunately, I can't comment on it, nor can I make contact with you. But
Mm.
I might not be the most qualified. I've only been here for a few years, so
Right.
maybe there's people who are much more professional at this, have been here for hundreds and thousands of years and they've never left. I don't know. I don't know how this works. So we're kind of like in a waiting room. It's like an
Oh,
afterlife
wow.
waiting room. And
Okay.
for us musicians, it's seems to be wait for, because I talked to some guitar players who are dead, that
Mm-hmm.
didn't make it, and so they said they were waiting for their band members as best as what we all are doing here. So we can hear each other from this side once in a while when we make contact. But imagine walking around in the world and there's like
Mm-hmm.
no one that can really hear you or see you, and only one out of a million people is another spirit you can actually talk to. So it's a weird world.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So I don't know how that fits into your afterlife,
Right.
or God or devil or good and evil and
Mm-hmm.
heaven and hell. I don't. I'm suspecting, like I believed in life, that this
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really exist, and here I am where
Right.
you are to be afterwards. This is where you're
Right.
at.
Right. Wow. Okay. So you wait, but the story here is, or the message here is, Kurt, keep looking for the guy.
Well, Kurt probably has 10, 15 good years of metal in his hands if he just
Mm-hmm.
keeps pounding on the guitar and writing the riffs. So there has to be someone. Maybe Mr. Monroe and Mr. Lopes weren't the proper people for the job, but
Mm,
there has to be someone out there who is ready to step up. And maybe he has a yoga mat like I did, and some berries and some fruit juice, and he wants to
right.
sing metal music in his spare time. And because metal takes in people of all shapes and sizes, it's an inclusive thing. And so let us scan the globe for all people that might be able to sing in the nature that metal church needs. But
Mm-hmm.
don't let the music go down. That's the point. The metal church music must live, Kurt.
Right. Okay. Well, rest easy, Mike Howe, and
Well, thank
maybe we'll connect again. Have you run into David Wayne at all? Because
we
you mentioned him as being the other vocalist that moved on to the other side. I don't know if he's in the same other side as you're at, but I don't know if
he's
he.
in the waiting room next door.
Oh, is he? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Okay.
metal church waiting room area here that we're at, and we each have our own rooms that we're waiting. And well, to be fair, this probably shouldn't break this in the afterlife. I think
Mm-hmm.
this would be Kurt's something how he would have to announce, but maybe on the afterlife when you all come over, then we'll be waiting and we'll do a all airs of metal
Afterlife
church.
wrap up show.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
all
jeez.
airs of metal church, and then
Right.
I'll sing my parts, and David would sing his parts, and kind of like together we can do duets and sing both parts
Oh,
together,
wow.
and so we've mended those fences. Any ill will, there was never really any to begin with. It was just it's creative differences as usual.
Mm-hmm.
But and I just took over a gig that was available. He would never blamed me for doing that. So
Right.
but the bottom line is, I think that where there might be a little bit of friction is over who wrote what in certain areas, but that won't
Right.
matter once we're all in the room and Kurt's on guitar and we're both singing.
Sure.
So yeah, and I believe we have a drummer who's in the third waiting room over
Oh, that's
possibly.
right.
So
Yeah.
so so
Jeez.
we're just resting. We're practicing our reps and we're staying in shape because time doesn't really age you here. You just stay infinite. Wherever you were when you left, that's what you look like when you get here.
Ah,
So.
so you don't
Yeah.
really go. You don't like shave like 20 years off your appearance once you get there or something.
No, I'm still just my cow as I
Yeah.
was when I left the earth. Yep. So
Well, you're kind of fortunate because you look pretty good, but at the even at the tail end. So you don't have to be
oh,
like this mess like, like Vince Neil or Don Dawkin, who are, he's a crippled
well,
mess and
that
drunken
afterlife
crippled mess. Yeah.
that afterlife jam session is not going to sound very good in my opinion. I
Oh,
mean
not with that guy. No. Or Vince.
but
Jeez.
no, I again the yoga mat, the a lot of water, fruits and berries, a lot of grain and barley and oats and things that are healthy, and a lot of meditation in the trees, and then
Hmm.
getting on stage and just absolutely screaming like my life depended upon it.
Right. Okay.
And I was always amazed that people wanted to pay us to do that, but since they did, I was more than happy to get up on stage and do that. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'll let Evil know you did pop in for a quick check-in or chit-chat, and
Yes.
we'll probably pull you in again at some point. I'm sure there's going to be more metal church news, or maybe we do another follow-up to another head-to-head battle. Maybe
At a
we do a top five list of the best, metal church tunes or whatever, and we can pull you in afterward.
I might even be able to make commentary upon some of the
Well, that's
selections that you
true.
guys
You
make.
might
That
be
would
able
be
to pull
nice. And
that off as well.
you know, also I should make mention now, so in case Kurt hears this interview, is that Kurt, you're probably sitting on some music and unreleased material from
Hmm.
me. So you go ahead and just put together some compilation albums and hold them over until you can find the proper singer. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Right. Nice.
But thank you for having me. Thank you, Evil, for seancing me into this through his crystal ball and Ouija
Yeah.
board. And I will hope to all the Metal Church fans better
Hmm.
keep the music alive and don't be sad for me. I'm fine right where I'm at, and I'm
Right.
waiting for Kurt to show up to have another riff session and to sing.
Nice.
And I think you know, lastly, just don't be afraid. We're all gonna. This is gonna happen to every single one of us. We're just gonna
Hmm.
hang out in the jam session room afterwards and have fun. So.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for dropping by, and I'm glad everything went well as far as or Neely. Oops, I offended him. Evil, doing the right, I guess, seance to pull you in without any mishaps. So,
I think it took him a few tries, but a few days ago, I did get a signal, kind of a message in my head saying that I needed to go to a certain location and then sit
right.
down. And when I did, all of a sudden, I heard his voice talking to me and asking me if
There
I
you
would
go.
come on his show. So I'm very thankful. I guess this is some kind of a podcast or radio show he does, and I want to thank you
Yeah.
for having me on that.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's a supplement to his brother's webcast that they do every Saturday night. So, all right.
All
Cool.
right. Well,
Well, thank you so much. And again, rest easy, and hopefully Kurt pushes through with the Metal Church name and finds the guy, and hopefully releases any stuff he has in the vaults.
absolutely. There's some stuff left over towards the end. The last few years we were doing that he has probably on some computer hard drive
Hmm.
somewhere. And I should just lastly chime in with this. If you were weighing out the dark or blessing in disguise,
Hmm.
it's blessing in disguise because I sang on it.
Yeah, there you go. See,
I also sang the dark stuff better in live, I think, if you go
oh,
watch the videos.
yeah,
So just check
yeah,
it out, guys. Okay.
yeah,
But don't let David hear that. He's in the room next door. He might get
right.
mad.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't say it too loud. So,
No, we're gonna sing. He can sing his songs. I'll sing mine, and we'll work it out. So I
sure.
think he's practicing bricks right now.
Oh,
I'm gonna go
nice.
do healer. Let's do this.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Metal Church.
Raise your horns